perform this clinic. I've known this young woman for a very long time. She was a student in my band program. And we won't talk about how long ago that was. I don't know if it's for her protection or for my protection, anyway. But this young lady has done some amazing work. She just started off in the band program. She understands the aspects of concert band, marching band, and of course jazz ensemble. She's been touring with some of the world's greatest musicians. Most notably, she's been touring with Beyonce and J-Lo lately. So she definitely knows what it takes to play at an extremely high level and understands how to keep working with developing young people, because she still comes in Houston and works with the community kids there and gets them started. And she also brought a surprise guest with her today, Nikki Glaspie, who's also a major player and has been performing with Beyonce and a lot of other people. So without further ado, would you please welcome Marcie Chapa and special guest Nikki Glaspie.
later. Okay, well, I'm Marcie. This is my very dear friend who I've gotten to meet on the road reading with Beyonce. That's how we initially met. And ever since then, it's just been like we're sisters of music. So what I'm going to talk today is about when we just, actually that piece we did, well, the last piece with the big rose, and if you know what the rose are, was a piece we actually tried to push to actually Beyonce to use for one of the tours, but it didn't work. But, it was too long, so y'all know productions has to be timed. Anyway, so we tried to pull it out and remember it like last night. So, but anyway, so what I'm talking about today is about how to apply percussion and any kind of, and well, jazz band, big band setting, but also if you're a percussionist out here, you can learn how to utilize it in a pop, gospel, R&B, Latin setting as well. And you don't have to, just because it's Latin instruments, you don't necessarily have to play a lot of Latin rhythms. Although you need to learn the rhythms because it helps bring out what you really want to play. Because if you have a certain sound, you can apply a little Latin rhythm, and that's along the way as you get further. But I'm here to talk about what you're going to do with your band directors out there. What are you going to do with your percussion? You got 6 kids out there playing percussion, and you only have one song. It's like, what do you do? It's like, okay, I want to utilize everybody because parents want their kids all to play. So it's like, okay, we have all these amazing things that are in percussions. You have all the way up to a shaker, to a tambourine, to a cowbell, to a triangle, to a cabasa. And so you can utilize every single thing and everybody gets a chance to play something. May not be the most funnest part of the whole entire piece, but it's something you can play and it actually accentuates the groove, which is the most important thing, right? So let's say, how do you even start off? It's like, okay, let's say we want to play somewhat of funk. Yeah. Let's say you have a funk tune for your jazz band, and okay, so if we're playing a basic funk, before I even begin, what would you assume to play? Most people are like, oh, just play a shaker or just play a tambourine. Yes, but you have congas, you have bowl, you even have timbales you can apply. You even have a djembe, which I don't have here. There's so much more you can use, so it's like, what do we do? So Nikki play it like a basic, kind of like a funk. Okay, so let's do this. What would you do? How would you begin? Of course you want to have which you can change up during the course of the song. You could say, okay, first part of the song, I want you to play, just give me 2 and 4, 16-note pattern. You don't have to be a 16-note. It can be, and say you have a soloist. They're killing their solo, and you want to change it. So like, give me something more. And you go to 60 pattern. Then, you have the bridges. If you have a song, chorus, out, you want to change it up, you go up to 16 notes. You go up to, unfortunately, I had copies here of like all the different rhythms to give y'all, but pressed for time, I didn't get to make copies. So, I will put them online though, eventually as soon as I can, and you can all have them. And it helps accentuate, you can give your kids and say, all right, just pick one that you like, which one sounds the best. So you can play the 16 notes is probably my most favorite in an R&B, funk setting. The tambourine goes a long way. If you're doing rock, 3 kids, each kid can do one thing. Of course, they can also do a little more than just. So I'm actually today going to have a bunch of volunteers come up so we can demonstrate what you're going to have her play a certain groove. And we're going to pretty much start with the funk, and then we're going to go on to other styles. But what I want to do is I want to bring up, let's see, about 4 people who are going to volunteer. Anybody? You read your read. I'm going to pick people. You, Peter, smiling at me. And you ready? Come up. Go ahead, come up. So I'm gonna have my dear friend Nikki play. We'll do like a kind of like a hip-hopish one. Hip-hopish funk. I'm gonna change it up, and I'm gonna give y'all. Let me see. If you don't have any percussion experience before I even throw you on. You don't have to. We have a shaker. No, I want everybody. Anybody? Okay, let's see. You can come around this way. So let's see, right here. Right here. Let's see. You're right, come here. You can squeeze it here. Come around here. Okay, so we're gonna do, you're my guinea pig as well. So Nikki, play me something. So you're playing there. Okay, so she's playing a 16-note pattern. So you want to think syncopated. And this is more of a high-pitched sound. This is congos are more of a low pitch. So we're going to think, follow kind of think melody as well as playing more sounding melodic instruments. They're not melodic, but they have tone to them. And so these are more flavor and color. Y'all want to think, you know, percussion is pretty much like the icing, where the sprinkles, where the color. The drummer is what? They're the cake. They're the cake. And we make it pretty. We make it, you know, we make it nice. We make it sound great. So this, you want to think, she's playing 16, play for me. So how would you use the 16? Playing, because she's live with that 16. So what would you play? How would you work like? Right? Think different. Think of the drum. What do you do this? Okay, so they just want things to be You can't do music. Sometimes you want to listen to what the bass line's doing or what the keyboard player. But since in this situation we only have a drummer, we have no melodic players. But so you want to follow. Okay, what is she doing? You know, you want to start a song. Sometimes you want to start with the bass of the song. The drummer's playing. What? If we were going to give me. Similar but not 60 note, maybe one gravity straight. right way. It's just about what feels good. And as a band director, y'all should be able to say, no, that's not good. Or no, that's good. You know, and you don't want to discourage a kid because you don't want them to keep going. If they're not doing well, you just keep pushing them. Then you go back and say, okay, let's pull out some music. Pull out records. How do we play it? What is this person playing here? You got to go back to the old school stuff because today's stuff, it's kind of not good. But you want to go to stuff like, you have any suggestions?
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, very good. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
James Brown. There is some percussion going on there. You know, a lot of people don't even really pay attention to it, but percussion is like the glue. Like, has anybody heard the Big Payback? Everybody knows that song, right? You cannot play it without a kabasi. It is not possible.
Yeah, we don't have one, unfortunately, but...
That's why we're not going to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to play, but don't have a kabasa, I cannot demonstrate. But, you know, back in the Motown days, the tambourine was like...
There was one guy that played the tambourine. That was his job.
There is. It's true. So there are so many ways to play that tambourine. It's not just 60 notes.
Yeah.
So, you know, you banders out there, when you have a song that, you know, your big band is playing, it doesn't have to be a funk and be rock, whatever. You want to drive it, you know, think outside the typical square box. Think, okay, she's playing or he's playing 60 notes. Well, make it be funkier, you know. Put some patterns into it, rather than just jigga, 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 jigga. The kid, his hand gets tired, you got what? You have this. You have, put it on mount it. That's another way. Because what it's doing here, you get someone playing the shaker, you can have someone dropping the 16 note there and having the accents here if they can't do it all with one hand. Because with one hand, it takes a little practice to be able to. I mean, that came actually from me. I learned how to do that in church. So here,
In church?
I learned this in church. You know, But you have to have some little churchy spirit, or go to a church, and sometimes you'll see that tambourine player going off. So mount it, if it's easier for the kid. Mount it, so it's easier, they can play the rhythm. Sometimes even a straight quarter note. And you have ballads, you can apply percussion to ballads. It doesn't have to be just a drummer and brushes. It can be percussion as well. You can go back to listening to some ballad Latin tunes and mimic that sound, but don't play them because you don't want to play Latin rhythms. Sometimes you don't want it too Latin. You don't want to have play it like
salsa?
No, don't play salsa. I'll play a driving kind of a fusion.
Fusion?
Yeah. Slow jam. So think of that as half the time slower. So you got to think outside the box. You can take part of this pattern out of it and then use it in the style, which there's